All right, let's start with what's happened with Apple's stocks have tumbled on the Wall Street after tech giant Apple reported a slowdown in terms of its sales over holidays in China. The slowing down of the sales can be seen as a direct result of the trade tensions between the United States and China, and this comes as a big blow considering that it was the holiday season and sales are usually high around this time of the year. The Apple shares fell by nearly about 10.3% following its announcement, and the chip makers and suppliers of phone parts have also had a bad day at the markets. The newly elected and the re-elected U.S. senators took oath of office administered by U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. That the new Congress, in fact, convened with roughly a quarter of the federal government having been shut, affecting as many as about 800,000 employees in a shutdown that was triggered by President Donald Trump's demand last month for money for a U.S.-Mexican border wall. The Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said that the Senate will not take up any proposal that does not have a real chance of getting Trump's signature. Mitt Romney has been sworn in to serve as the junior U.S. Senator from Utah by U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. The swearing-in comes a day after President Donald Trump had rebuffed Romney's sharp criticism, heaping scorn on the incoming senator as a sign of tensions in Washington. Now, moments before being officially sworn in, Romney had defended his open editorial in Washington Post, where he sharply criticized President Donald Trump, who had endorsed the former presidential candidate's bid for U.S. Senate. He also told the reporters on Capitol Hill that he will actually work with Donald Trump and would not hesitate to call him out if he were to disagree with the U.S. president. Democrat Nancy Pelosi was elected to be the new Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives as her party took majority control of the chamber following its election victory last November. This marks Pelosi's second stint as Speaker. She was the first woman ever to hold the job, serving from 2007 till 2011, before the Republicans began an 8-year run in the House majority. U.S. President Donald Trump continued his call for a border wall in the White House as he congratulated Nancy Pelosi for becoming the Speaker of the House. Now, Democrats, of course, wasted no time flexing their new power in the U.S. House of Representatives as they maneuvered to pass legislation that would in fact end a 13-day partial government shutdown while ignoring Trump's demand for $5 billion border wall. One of the latest polls has revealed that 3/4 of the French people are actually pretty unhappy with the way President Emmanuel Macron and his government are running the country. The majority of them are, of course, keen to see more measures that would boost household incomes. A wave of Yellow West street protests in the past 2 months have rocked Macron's presidency, forcing him into conceding certain important policy decisions, such as scrapping a planned fuel tax rise and also trying to diffuse anger over a perceived squeeze on family budgets. Now, only about 25% of the people surveyed said that they were satisfied with the French government's measures and action since Macron has come to power in mid-2017. The Turkish President Erdogan has said that Turkey and Iraq will in fact deepen their cooperation in the fight against terrorism. In a news conference with his Iraqi counterpart, President Barham Saleh, Erdogan said that it was important for the two countries to work together in order to achieve success in the fight against terror. Saleh said that the Syrian conflict was on the agenda during the bilateral talks, adding that Turkey and Iraq have an important role in the region. Thailand is bracing for a tropical storm. The country, which hasn't witnessed a cyclone in the month of January in the last 7 decades, could be staring at one. The storm Pabuk is rapidly moving towards southern Thailand and threatens the country's famous southern beach resorts. Thai authorities have also suspended ferry services and have begun evacuations ahead of the powerful storm. Heavy rains and strong winds are expected to lash at least about 16 provinces of the country. Tropical storm Pabuk is expected to make its landfall today. The time slowed to a bit of a crawl in Santiago neighborhood as officials rushed to rescue a wild puma that was stuck in a tree. Now, the puma could in fact be seen at the very top of a 15-meter tall pine tree as a crowd gathered below. After laying several mattresses on the ground, zoo officials used a dart gun to anesthetize the cat, which eventually fell. Now, the puma was then transferred to the zoo for further evaluation. Israel has said that it is ready to move ahead with a multi-billion-dollar project with Jordan to pipe water from the Red Sea and transfer that into the biblical Dead Sea. Israel has said that it is ready to, of course, carry on the project, and this, of course, is very crucial, and Palestinians will also be able to purchase the desalinized water, according to Israel. Now, the project is meant to reduce the evaporation of the Dead Sea, where Jordan and Israel harvest potash and also get extensive amounts of revenue due to the tourism business. Now, the high-profile trial of the 11 suspects involved in the slaying of journalist Jamal Khashoggi has attended their very first court session. Saudi Arabia's Attorney General has sought the death penalty for 5 of the 11 accused who were at the hearing. And the brief statement gave some details, however, did not name the 5 suspects. And there is still no mention of Saudi Crown Prince in the investigation that is presently underway in Saudi Arabia, and only some low-level officials are reported to have been caught and have been detained as a part of the trial. On the day when Kerala witnessed violent clashes, a 46-year-old Sri Lankan woman reportedly successfully entered the Sabrimala temple. The woman was accompanied by her husband, also a team of police personnel who surrounded the couple and then led them up over the holy steps and then into the Sanctum Sanctorum. Now, this comes the next day after 2 women in their early 40s had entered into the Sabrimala shrine. Afghan's National Security Advisor Hamdullah Mohib is in New Delhi to hold talks with his Indian counterpart Ajit Doval. Mohib will also hold talks with Doval over security issues in Afghanistan and ways to enhance cooperation between the two nations.